Hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving watching all three games in Detroit, in Dallas, and Green Bay. That just leaves the rest of Week 13, meaning it's time for our weekly staple, my top 5 most intriguing matchups for the rest of the week. This one, Baker's Dozen, Week 13. Hit it.
High five.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Rich's Top 5.
All right, here we go. The rest of Week 13 starts in the Great White North. Minnesota. The Vikings taking on the Arizona Cardinals, licking their wounds from coming off the bye and getting the bang thing put on them by a divisional opponent in Seattle. How will they respond? Kyler Murray in the dome. Sam Darnold in the dome. We get our first look at Daniel Jones in purple. We also think, gotta have him already suited up, earbud in, learning, and watching Sam Darnold go to work for the 9-2 Vikings. Once upon a time, the once upon a time 5-0 Vikings lost 2 in a row, and so many Vikings fans are like, they're going 5-12. They're going to lose every last game. We've seen this movie before, and they've won every game after that 2-game losing streak. Every time you think they might trip up, here they go, staying right behind the Lions in the division, unless the Cardinals can say, you know what? We won 4 in a row before that bye, took some wind out of our sails, and that was just what usually happens to us when we go up to Seattle. And we'll just chalk it up to that, and we'll see what we can do in Week 13. Big one, early window on Fox, Cardinals against the Vikings, number 4. He was knocking on their door and they on his a little bit back when he was just a mere national champion head coach, thinking maybe I do tip my toe back in the National Football League. The Atlanta Falcons welcoming Jim Harbaugh and his Chargers into their house. Falcons coming off a bye. Falcons going into the bye, getting banged up in Denver. Falcons needing a win here. Certainly with the way the Buccaneers performed against the Giants.
Yeah, big time.
You know, and Atlanta losing in New Orleans and then losing in Denver and then having a bye. And now here come the Chargers. It's a short week, cross-country trip, early window game that's not set up for success for a Chargers team that will not have J.K. Dobbins either. The Gus Bus is now trying to get things done on the running game side of things for a Chargers team, licking their wounds off a loss to the Ravens. Falcons needing this dub, coming off the bye, and the Buccaneers looking the way they looked. Chargers needing a win here to stay in front of the Denver Broncos, who have a winnable game, if you think, against the Browns on Monday night. Can't wait to see this one. Number 3 on the list. Last chance saloon for this team. Every single time I think they're going to be out, they pull me back in just because of who they have playing quarterback and who their wide receiver is. I'm going down to Bengals Road.
You can't quit them.
Last time.
You can't quit them.
The Bengal juice is just so tasty. I don't know what to say.
By the way, Rich, this week, I agree with you.
Oh, is that right?
I do.
Why is that?
I do agree with you. I think they're going to win this week.
Well, they have to. They have to. Not you have to. Not you think. They have to win this game. They cannot lose a divisional game at home to fall to 4-8. Come on now. But going to 5-7, now you're higher registering this thing. Now you're higher registering. And then Russell Wilson had that game won in the snow until they didn't. And Justin Fields was on the field for that 3rd and 4. And George Pickens is saying it's snowing too hard around here. I'm wondering if that's the first snow game George Pickens ever played in his life.
He maybe has never seen snow before.
I don't know about.
He lives in Pittsburgh.
I think yeah, he's definitely seen it. I do remember there were some flurries on that Christmas Eve game that I called on NFL Network when the Raiders were in taking on the Steelers after Franco Harris passed away and Pickens caught a touchdown from Pickett to win it. Yeah. I'm wondering if there might have been some flurries. But bottom line is, Steelers. How do they? That's true. Or at least playing it. 8-3 Steelers. Do they bounce back? Because the Ravens just won their game out west. They're right behind the Steelers by a half game. What a big one this was. Which one is early window on CBS. 49ers Bills are number 2. You want to talk about last chance saloon too? Can you put the Niners in that category? Maybe not, because the division is still quite winnable. You know, still quite winnable.
Yeah, but if Arizona and Seattle pick up wins on the road this week,
Rams
then,
are also on the road this week.
Then, it can't fall too far behind.
Rams are in New Orleans, with New Orleans coming off a bye, but we're assuming Purdy's back, Western New York, Niners coming in, Bills coming off a bye. Let's go. I mean, these are just two franchises that have huge fan bases and are hungry, and the Niners are desperate, and the Bills want to just keep on proving we're better than the Chiefs, and we're going to stay right behind the Chiefs. We're going to keep right on their heels. Let's go. It's Sunday Night Football of Thanksgiving week. Number one on the list is a no-brainer. We just saw that these two teams have big-time wins just up the road in SoFi Stadium. And Saquon Barkley left his tire tracks on the field. They just changed the paint on the field. And Derrick Henry ran for 140 yards against the Chargers. Ravens coming home, taking on an Eagles team that is playing the best football, arguably, in the National Football League, either better than the Lions or next to the Lions, and 9-2, 8-4. I know we got the quarterbacks up there on the screen with Hurts and Lamar, but, Saquon and Derrick Henry, and it's great. I can't wait for it. This is late window CBS, Nance, Romo, whole gang. Let's go hit it.
Do you think we need one more?
Why not?
All right, we'll get one more.
There are so many choices here, but I'm going in terms of intriguing. I was thinking about Bucks at Panthers because of how the Panthers are playing. The Bucks need it. But you choose that. You've been choosing this team in the West for weeks, and now they're in first, and now they've won 2 in a row. And, the Jets have already lost to Sam Darnold this year. Mm-hmm. For them to fall to 3-9 at the hands of Geno Smith, back where he once belonged, would be a real tough blow. But the Jets are coming off of a bye. Rodgers saying he's feeling the best he's ever felt. If he does want to play again next year, his first choice is the Jets. And word is that the Jets are like, yeah, thanks, but no thanks. And this year's gone, but the Jets need to finish up strong here, and for many different reasons, many different ways. And the Seahawks need this win. They just need it. You want to make the playoffs? The way to make them, more than likely than not, is to win this division. And I know it's not a conference win or anything like that, but to go all the way across the country and play an early window game, as I mentioned earlier in this segment, ain't easy. But Seahawks at Jets is one the Seahawks need, and the Jets coming off a bye, if they're non-competitive, just close up shop. Will we wind up Aaron Rodgers, who swore on Pat's show he would never willingly go on IR without being hurt? Who knows what's going to happen if they lose this one? Seahawks-Jets wraps up my top 5 most intriguing games for the rest of this week, and I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. We'll be back on the Rich Eisen Show writ large with all 3 hours on Monday. See you then. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku Channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.